Welcome to episode 15 of Keeping It a Hundo. Today's guest is Jimmy Banos Jr. He's the owner and executive chef of The Purple Pig. It's a restaurant located on Michigan Ave, right in the heart of Chicago. He's a James Beard award-winning chef. He was named Rising Star Chef of the Year in 2014, and he was named one of People Magazine's sexiest chefs in the United States. In June, he's opening Piggy Smalls, a gyro concept. I love to cook. I love to eat. I love talking about food. I love grocery shopping. I love the whole process. I think it's in my blood. My grandfather had a restaurant for years outside of Boston. My parents are great cooks, but my grandmother was the best. And the first time I ever walked into the Purple Pig in 2009, it was actually the year they opened. It was love at first bite. Most of the dishes reminded me of my grandmother's cooking, and I can't give a place a better compliment than that. Before she passed away a few years ago, I told her the only thing I wanted from her was her recipe book. As you know, I ask all my guests what their death row meal is, and my death row meal is my grandmother's cooking. But I'm not going to get into specifics yet. I'm waiting for one of my guests to ask me. Nobody's ever asked me what mine is, so I'll wait to reveal it then. Check out my Instagram, Hundo Eats, if you want to see what I'm eating or where I'm eating. I could talk about food all day. But this episode isn't just about food. It's about family, ambition, and doing what you love, following your passions. Jimmy opened this restaurant in 2009 when he was 25 years old. He never knew that it would grow to what it is now. That's why I'm so excited to have my first chef on the show. So let's get to it. Let's talk about some food with Jimmy Banos.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Molly Mall. I let my tape
Who were his big fights? Did he fight at Holyfield? Did he fight at Holyfield?
Yeah, he fought Holyfield 3 times.
And then,
and he won 2 out of 3. That was his only loss of his career.
Yeah. But then he had another, couple big guys, no, that he fought?
Well, when he was defending the belt, he was fighting, he fought Andrew Galata, that guy who punched him in the nuts a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I think he fought him twice. Yeah, he never fought Tyson. Him and Tyson grew up together. They went to the same middle school.
Really?
Same neighborhood. And Tyson was in prison when Bo was champ. And then when he got out, Tyson was like, yeah, he's a friend of mine. I don't want to hurt a friend. I respect him. Yeah. And Bo said he don't want to fight me because he knows I'll put my foot in his ass. Bo's funny, man.
What's he doing?
Guy.
Is he like...
kind of works at a gym, a boxing gym.
Has he got any money left?
Nah.
Sucks.
He's struggling a little bit.
Sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So, yeah, you have big shoes to fill. Riddick Bowe last week. This week we have Jimmy Banos from The Purple Pig on Michigan Ave in Chicago. I have no agenda, Jimmy. I have no ties to the restaurant business, to the food industry.
Right.
I just love food. People call me a foodie. I don't think I am. I think I love food, and everybody who doesn't love food.
Exactly.
And I just know a little bit about it. If I were to say what I am food-wise, I'm the equivalent of like a street ball player in basketball. I have no formal training.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about the way you're supposed to do things.
You just know what you like.
I know what I like. I know how to cook. I know how to eat. My family had a restaurant. My grandfather had a restaurant. My dad grew up there, and my grandmother.
Where's the restaurant?
Boston. Yeah, I grew up, suburbs of Boston.
Which one?
I grew up in the suburbs. I grew up in Beverly, Massachusetts.
I've heard of that.
They had a restaurant in Wakefield, Massachusetts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard you grew up in the restaurant, literally.
Literally grew up in the restaurant. I'm 4th generation on my dad's side of the family. So my dad's side, all Greek. My mother's side's all Italian.
Yeah, I saw that in the research.
So food obviously is a gigantic part of the fam. But so I literally, like you said, grew up in my dad's restaurant, which is from where we are right now. The Purple Pig is pretty much a mile away. It's called Heaven on 7. It's 40 It's almost 40 years old.
Is he still working there? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He was actually stopped by earlier today to listen in on the meeting, and then he's still there every day. When I was a little kid, I would always hang out in the kitchen with my dad and my grandfather. My dad worked side by side with him, and my grandmother was in the front. It was never an effort to get to be into it. It was everything from day one was just a very natural.
It was always appealing.
It was a very appealing. It was always a natural like progression. Like I always kind of just had something in me that knew that I wanted to fall into this business. And luckily, have a dad to not make any type of push. And we all know people that end up hating their dad and like, oh, they forced me into this business. I hate it. Blah, blah, blah.
Resenting the whole business.
Resenting the whole deal. It was never anything more than this is what it is. If you do decide to get into it, this is what you will expect. So at a very young age, I was always really equipped mentally, which helped me, I think, at opening the Purple Pig, being 25. I don't even know 25-year-olds have any business opening up anywhere. I mean, and I wasn't an owner. I wasn't a partner. I was just a chef. It was a chef. It was an opportunity as a chef.
Ah.
Yeah.
You didn't open this place as the owner.
Oh,
No, I didn't know that.
I had so prior to coming back home, I was in New York for 4 years.
Saw that training under Batali.
Yeah.
Mario Batali.
Mm-hmm. So great, unbelievable, game-changing experience. Like just getting your ass kicked every day. I mean, I could have been in friggin' Iowa City. It wouldn't have mattered because you were just so like in your own bubble, and the demands of working in a top tier kitchen in New York. I mean, even though Batali's in a little bit of hot water right now with all that, which was really unfortunate, but I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have that time with him, working at a couple of his establishments.
I've eaten at a couple of those.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, he changed the game in Italian food. I mean, he
Yeah.
completely revolutionized, and that was, let's say, 98, Babbo opened. He revolutionized Italian food in America and in the world. And to me,
Even those Italy's.
yeah, it's really really unfortunate what has taken place, what he did. I really hope, and I still look up to him and as a mentor to me. A lot of these restaurateurs that have gotten in trouble in the past year with conduct that is completely unacceptable and out of line and should have the punishments that they have coming to them.
Consequence.
This whole hiding thing, like just disappearing into the night.
I was gonna say, it seemed like he disappeared,
that's
right?
That's what everybody's doing now.
I'm not as close to it as you are.
Well, so a lot of guys, John Besh and these guys who are super it's like they're just poof. There's been people that have done a lot way worse in America.
Besh had a similar scandal too.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes. Make a point, an example that you've learned from your mistakes, and come back.
I know. I mean, if one thing we've learned, it's America's very forgiving. Especially when people are humble.
Yeah, exactly.
Humbled by the mistakes.
Exactly. So I still think the world needs. They said I think Italian food specifically is a little bit stagnant.
I agree.
Right now, there was a huge revolution as far as bringing regional cuisine to America, but I think where I've eaten in the past, just being around, I think it's just kind of at a.
I agree. When I was preparing for this conversation with you, I was thinking of my favorite restaurateurs, for lack of a better term, in the U.S.
Yeah.
And most of them are non-Italian, and I prefer Italian food. I love everything. But,
Right.
I grew up eating Italian food. I'm Italian.
Right.
Most of the guys are not Italian.
Right. Who are your favorites?
I love Jose Andres. I love what he's doing. I've eaten at probably 5 or 6 of his spots. Love it.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
I've
met him and I've been around him. I don't know him,
but just what his energetic, super. Just what he brings to the industry.
He was sitting in front of me at the Celtics Wizards Game 7 last year. He's a huge Washington Wizards fan.
Yeah.
And it was Game 7, huge game in Boston. He had the tightest John Wall jersey on over his chubby little frame, and he had it over like a dress shirt. Like he looked completely out of place. Looked terrible, but the guy had so much passion for the Wizards. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think? Dude, the series, they won Game 1, right? They beat the Sixers. Yeah?
Celtics, yeah. The Celtics are looking great.
They're the team of the day. They will be the face of the East.
Yeah, Celtics and Sixers are going to be a nice rivalry going forward. But we're missing like 3 of our best players right now. We still beat them.
Danny Ainge is a genius.
They have no bad contracts.
The coach is a genius.
Yep.
And you could actually say for the first time now, I was listening to Coward. I love his show.
Yep.
And he's like, right now is the first time in over a decade where you could say in the East, like if LeBron happened to go down, he's like, I'm still watching the East play basketball. He's like, prior to that, he's like, I'm watching Netflix.
Yeah.
So now there's that, some of the
good young talent in Boston and Philly specifically.
It's exciting. Hopefully it carries someday to the Bulls.
Yeah.
But
they're in a tough spot right
dude.
You grew up a Bulls fan.
Of course.
Yeah.
It just like anything else. I mean, like you're being from Boston. Anything else, it's all any organization, any sport, if it's sports or this, any industry. It all starts, all a top-down effect, man. Bulls have not good leadership from the top, and they're not good.
Exactly. You have to like establish a culture.
Yeah.
I think that works in restaurants too. From the top down, you have to have a certain type of culture
where
everyone believes in it, everybody trusts it. And speaking of that, you're executive chef and owner of this place.
Yeah.
How often are you in the kitchen?
Every day.
Cooking every day?
Every day.
Now, are you in the kitchen too much to not be able to direct? Or are you direct? Because you're a player. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you're on the field, it's tough to coach.
Right. So every day is... Sorry, yeah. This is real, right? We're right. Every day, every single day in the kitchen, when it comes to service, expediting. So I'm not actually working a station. It just doesn't work like that. Really determining the flow and the standards and everything. And it's funny that you mentioned that because we're at I've been doing that for 8.5 years.
Cooking in the kitchen every day?
Well, here, yeah, with the beginning state, like just the same structure day in, day out at the Purple Pig. I was telling my sommelier, sports guy, like he grew up playing sports. I'm like, dude, I can't be the right guard on the team anymore, man. He's like, I need, with all the ideas I have and all the things that we want to do, in order to keep the mothership at the standards that it's at, which is continuously evolving every day, I got to be Urlacher, man. I got to be sideline to sideline. Yeah. I got to be able to move and move because I'm the one, and we have a lot of moving parts here, and we believe at this place we have over 100 employees. It's a lot of
at the Purple Pig.
Yeah, just at the Pig. This is the place of where anything is possible. We have a really small space, the smallest kitchen you could possibly ask for. We don't cook on any gas. Everything's all on electric because the building holds only electric. Basically, let's put it this way: a lot of I've had, really well-known chefs come in here and be like, "Here, I'm bringing my guys in here, my crew, to show them stop fucking complaining. Stop complaining. You don't have it that bad."
Right.
So I've always had this never quit mentality. That was instilled for me at a very young age.
Be prepared to eat a shit sandwich every day?
Every day.
I read that.
Every day.
That was your father's quote
that
he told you to live
He's
by?
like, sometimes you're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
And this game and this life, man, you got to... This is the worst business. This is the worst industry probably in America, or in the world. It's the worst. There's, for the physical and mental demands, the little shred of profit margins that we have that you have to make work, you have to be you have to be wired at a whole other level, which which also means that you really love it that much too. Because after all that, if somebody's putting a piece of paper in front of you and saying like, this is what you're gonna have to deal with every day, like most of them are negative things. After all that, you can still with a straight face be like, yep, let's go to work, man. Let's do it. Like, let's cook some food.
So with that said,
Yeah.
what's your favorite part about the business?
To have one thing to be my favorite part, it's really hard to answer. Right now, it is the creative process. Is really like coming up with. I mean, it's the simple things. It's coming up with a new dish. It's seeing goals that you have, or telling there's Alan right there. Like, all right, dude. Like, we only have this much space, and our past sommelier wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. We have one of the best wine lists in the city, but I want 1,000 different selections on our wine list. And then look at you like, well, that's not possible. I said, yeah, it is possible. We're going to make it happen. And then when you see the results, you see the work's it's getting people not to be scared of the work process. And then when you do it, you get the results, and then you're just like, yes. And then it becomes contagious. One of the other major things that I really truly love about the business is we have the best clientele ever. Local tourism, like American tourism, and then at an international level.
I'm sure you guys do great with tourism because of your location.
Right.
I've been a regular here since, when did you guys open, 09? 08?
And 10. At the end of 09 going into 10.
I've been coming since 10.
Which is insane. That's
and
crazy.
I've only lived here for 4 months.
Right.
But I've been a regular here since 2010. Because I used to stay at the W
thank
up
you.
the street.
Yep.
And this is where I would come. Every time I come to town, I
Right,
come here.
right.
And now I live here. And it's one of my favorite places. Favorite restaurants in the world.
I appreciate it.
And I travel a lot.
I appreciate it.
When I ate here the first time, it reminded me of my grandmother's cooking.
Okay.
And that's the best compliment I could give to any restaurant
Absolutely.
in the world. That's why I loved it here. The dishes reminded me of my grandmother's cooking, but I also liked that you guys had all types of Mediterranean food. You had, Spanish and Greek and Italian all mixed.
Yeah.
Little did I know you were Greek and Italian.
Right.
I didn't know that. I thought you were Greek.
Right.
I heard, it was a Greek family-owned restaurant.
Yeah.
And I brought my Greek friends here from Boston. It was my friend Yanni the handyman and his father, Tomas. Rest in peace, Tomas. I brought them here. We had the Greeks. We had me. We had my friend Courtney,
Right.
black guy from the west side of Chicago.
Okay.
And my friend Caesar,
Yeah.
a Mexican guy from the south side of Chicago. We had the 5 or 6 of us,
Yeah.
and everybody loved it. That's the type of place this is.
I appreciate it. You just summed it up. You can't. It's gotta to create an environment where there's literally something for everybody, and that it translates to everybody all over the world, every other country. It's accessible to everybody. We have a lot of connections in the industry of like the best being equated to, spending $1,000 a couple. It's not something I really want to be a part of. I don't believe that it should be like that. It's more harder for us because we have more people come through the door, but we still.
You turn a little more over though here.
Yeah.
You guys get them in and get them out. And
People come and go and leave. And sometimes eat fast. We have people stay there for 5 hours. There's never like that, which is the biggest pet peeve of all. Is when you're sitting there and you feel that server wants you to leave.
Right.
There's nothing more irritating, man. Ever.
I've come here with luggage before and sat in the corner and
don't
nobody
care.
bothers me charging my phone, order a couple dishes. Yeah.
So we're definitely in our own category as far as combining those worlds and risk taking. And for the time you've been coming to since we opened, the style, like some of the cuts and things that we were serving, my father, who was completely had 100% confidence in me, Tony Montuano, who's chef at Spiaggia. They have been in this game for a long time, and Michigan Avenue has never been, historically something that like you're gonna get creative food. or like off,
There still isn't much creative food
No.
there. Between you and Spiaggi,
No,
there's
there really
nothing
isn't.
in between.
No, not a lot. And like, I don't think people are gonna really want to, like bone marrow and pig's ears. Like, people are not gonna want to do it. There was something inside of me. Like, it was always a motivation to be like, it's gonna happen. We're gonna make it work. And B, I guess, being young and like you're not worried about you're nervous, but you're not really worried about failure. You're just like, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. And then just like that, right off the bat, it was to hit. The interesting route that we've taken is by almost being a decade old, I haven't done anything. We haven't done any other projects. I've had like small like consulting things with like Soldier Field or Northwestern University and like stuff that I've learned a lot in. I'm doing my first other project in June, which is the Euro Shop, Piggy Smalls.
Yeah.
And I really feel good about the direction and the route that we've taken. Because if we would have opened up another place 3 years ago, I would have been screwed.
Right.
I think figured it out.
You took enough time establishing this
You
place.
have to. This whole misconception of being open for 6 months and then like, all right, let's go, let's do another one. You had your place, the place hasn't even reached full potential.
I see these lists of fastest growing restaurants in the country, and I was going to invest in one of them. Blaze Pizza. I was going to invest in one of those.
Yeah.
And myself and my friend Yanni, Greek guy who I mentioned before, we were all ready to go. Talked to a couple people that are in the same entrepreneurs that invest in restaurants and whatnot, and they said fastest growing, that doesn't mean it. Like, it could mean something.
It could.
But it doesn't,
Yeah.
By definition mean
No.
anything. Because if they're just opening restaurants, I mean, how are their sales?
Well, it's
are
all
they going to
about-
be able to keep it up once they spread thin?
It's all about execution, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're fastest growing is great unless you're growing too fast.
Right. Exactly. And I think you're a good example of staying away from that and establishing a strong foundation first. So Piggy Smalls.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about like Greek fast food.
Yep.
In Boston.
It exists.
The suburbs. Yeah. So we have roast beef joints.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anywhere in the country.
Roast
as far as I know.
beef.
We have roast beef joints, all Greek owned.
We
It's
have-
fast food.
Well, we have Italian beef joints.
Different.
You've had Italian beef,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Portillo's and Al's and all that stuff.
Johnny's.
Johnny's is the best.
Johnny's in Elmwood Park, man.
Okay.
Next time you're number one.
All right.
Number
believe
one.
Me, I'm writing down all your recommendations. So this is a thing that people outside of the Boston area aren't familiar with. We have roast beef places. They have warm roast beef sandwiches on like bun, like
Okay.
a hamburger bun.
Yeah.
And it has a barbecue sauce. It has cheese, some of them mayo, and you
Really?
get like onion rings with it. It's fast
Never
food.
heard of
It's
it.
a fast food staple in the Boston area. They stay open all night.
All Greek, usually Greeks own it.
All Greek owned.
Where did it start? Where?
No idea.
Yeah.
No, like, I don't even think people at home realize that that's like a novel concept. Like nobody does. I've never seen it anywhere in the country.
No.
And,
Yeah. I'm gonna. You gotta give me a place.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. I want to see. That's cool. What's your favorite? What's like the best one?
There's a place called Nick's in Beverly where I grew up. Bill and Bob's was a big chain. They had a few of those. Bill and Bob's was a spot. And every town has one or two or three of them.
See, I learn something new every day.
Large beef cheese sauce. Like you get, like there's like an order. Like you just. They have pizza rolls. They have baklava.
Yeah.
It's all Greek stuff. You have
Yeah.
milkshakes.
Yeah.
But it's a fast food
And
joint.
because the first thing you said, I'm thinking, Italian beef sandwich,
Yeah.
like, which is definitely a own Chicago thing.
Yeah, people in Boston don't know what Italian beef is.
Right. That's really cool. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
But the
So what I was gonna say is Greek fast food has kind of always been a sloppy kind of not that healthy type of thing because
Right.
if you go over to like Greektown in Chicago or
Yeah.
that type of area, you're not gonna get a healthy gyro.
no,
You know,
No,
it's a
that's
different thing.
The whole misconception of what a gyro is. I mean, when you go to a fast food place and you have gyro, that isn't what a gyro is in Greece.
Right. I've been to
been to
Greece
Greece,
and the
I'm sure,
food
yeah.
is very healthy over there.
Right, but then you've seen that when they cut the gyro. So
beautiful.
it stacks of meat just like a pastor taco or shawarma.
Right.
It's the same process. And everybody always thinks that gyro is lamb. In Greece, No lamb. No lamb with the gyro. It's usually just pork or chicken.
Right.
And that's the kind of the direction we're going in. We're also going to serve beef, but not on a gyro, just like a souvlaki or like a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you're doing pork and chicken on the spit.
Yep. So pork shoulders, sliced, brine, marinated, boom, stacked. Chickens, we're just deboning whole chickens, stacking them. But we're doing this style of food isn't like people in the U.S. are doing this now. This isn't some new thing. There's little small pockets over like the East Coast that have 10, 11 places of like proper gyro. Okay, but we're doing. Well, in my mind anyway, we're doing something that's a little bit more unique as to how we're operating. So, like, say for example, you're gonna have the gyro on the spit. Customers are gonna be able to see it cooking, but we will not be cutting from that at all. It's cooking there.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is take it to about 100, 110, 120 degrees. Take it off, wrap it really tight in plastic. And then finish it like in a combi oven, so the combination cooking, so it's steam and heat, so it locks it in really, really super moist heat, and it doesn't dry out at all. So what we're gonna do then is cool it down overnight, so it literally like fuses back together, gets that all the flavors stay in really nice. Slice it the next day, and then that's you grill on the flat top and put it in your gyro.
Can't wait.
Flavor's better.
You said June?
June 20th.
Okay.
Flavor's better, texture's better, everything is way better. Because sometimes when you're cutting it, I feel like human error. You get, does somebody know if it's just right? Is it going to be dry? So this is like essentially like the whole thing is perfectly tender, awesome meat. And then, again, based on health, we're going to do the choice of 3 proteins with a great Greek salad or an ancient grain bowl. And then, I'm sure you've had Greek fries before, right? So instead of doing like the old classic, feta cheese and fries and like lemon juice, which is delicious, but it ends up making the potatoes soggy.
Yeah.
So what we do is when the fries come out, we hit them with feta cheese powder and lemon powder.
Okay, so they don't get soggy.
So there's inside you get the same flavor.
Yeah.
And then we dip it in our tzatziki sauce.
Okay.
Dude, like addictive as can be.
So is it true your wife came up with the name?
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Great name.
She 100% credit for coming up with that name. It was super catchy. I wanted it to be like just a random name. It didn't have to be a Greek name. I wanted something that everybody could really kind of recognize and relate to,
Yeah, millennials will lead in
Yeah,
Biggie Smalls.
yeah, exactly. The branding.
So let's talk TV. The whole idea of the celebrity chef and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been asked to be on Top Chef ever?
Yes.
I figured they had to have asked you
Yep.
at some point. Okay.
Don't have any desire to do it.
You don't have the time to get it. You just don't want to do it.
It's a great show.
I love it. I love
There's,
it.
at the stage I'm at, the risk-reward factor just isn't even...
I was going to say, like, I think it's a great launching off point for a lot of these people.
Right.
You don't need that.
No. The timing wasn't, if I would have got called before I was doing the Purple Pig.
Right.
Like, sure, let's do it,
Right.
But being gone, I just couldn't do it. But great show. TV, I've had a great amount of, pretty good amount of experience doing that stuff. Like, it's one of those situations where, like, I'm not searching for those opportunities, but if they come, great. If it works out, it works out. If not, not. At the end of the day, the restaurant is what pays the bills, man. So I gotta be focused on that.
Absolutely. Did you see, speaking of celebrity chefs, and another guy, when I brought up Jose Andres, another guy's concept and food I like is David Chang.
Yeah, he's awesome.
You seen Ugly Delicious?
Yeah, great show.
That show was great.
Great show.
I just like the whole concept of like what is authenticity and importing ingredients as opposed to cooking what's local.
Yeah,
like that.
I've seen a couple. I started watching the episodes and I just based on having 2 little kids at home and not.
I put it as a high priority.
It's the both episodes I saw were
Which ones did you see?
I saw
Pizza?
Pizza,
Yeah.
which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really put it in perspective about like what Americans have done to pizza.
Right.
Our perception, and that everything does not need to be revolved around Neapolitan pizza. Like this whole like strict, because I've been saying it for years. Like I love Neapolitan dough, but it's not. I don't. It's not what I want to eat all the time. I know what style. I love it.
Right.
But I know what style of crust that I love. That if I had made an ideal pie, I know what I would want to make it.
My biggest fight between me and my girlfriend is about pizza. We've gotten probably like 15 to 20 like pizza fights. She calls me a pizza snob.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is picture.
Yeah. They've been all day, man. All day the ambulances.
Hope it's not shooting.
Yeah.
Well, the warm weather comes. That's what
Yeah,
happens.
that's all.
So yeah, my girlfriend calls me a pizza snob because I'm always like, I'm not eating. I don't like deep dish. Number one.
Don't like it either.
Not a deep dish guy. I don't eat any of the fast food pizza joints. I mean, I would eat Blaze is probably the closest, which is why I wanted to invest in it.
Right.
It just seems like a pretty cool concept. The pizza's decent, but I think as far as authenticity goes, America's done a great job with pizza. Italian American pizza.
It's taking it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
A whole other level of what our interpretation of pizza is. It's amazing. The best part about that damn episode was the fact that Chang loves Domino's pizza.
That was funny.
I love it because I related because even as a kid on Saturday nights as a kid, my parents would, because again the restaurant business literally every Saturday night, because Heaven on 7 back then was only open for breakfast and lunch Monday through Saturday. So Saturday nights, because my mom would literally, if it wasn't for that, my mom would have completely lost her mind. So they were out every Saturday night. So whoever was babysitting us or whatever, we'd always order Domino's. But we'd completely doctor it up. So it was Domino's thin crust, had to be thin crust, extra well done. And then we used to put hot sauce, Paul Prudhomme's Pizza
I know what
Magic.
you're talking about, yeah.
Oh, dude. And then
So now, like, it's
lemon.
It's almost not pizza. at
It's
this
all, yeah,
point.
but
it tastes good.
It's that memory.
Yeah.
You know, we always tell people, well, you should try this since you love pizza, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. Squeeze a little lemon on your pizza.
Okay. I'm open to
It's this
suggestions.
crazy thing that people are like, oh my God, how could you do that? I'm like, dude, it's lemon and cheese, man.
Yeah.
They go together.
Right.
But it's like this. I tell people before they look at me like I have 3 heads.
Like I said, I'm kind of a pizza snob. So
Mm-hmm.
like, when you're Italian, we didn't order Domino's. We didn't eat that stuff. Like,
You
it's just
usually
not
didn't,
something you do.
but yeah.
But you have a babysitter, then it's different. You know,
Yeah.
you might order or whatever. But you're like the equivalent of like a professional. So for a professional, you guys aren't supposed to like that type of stuff. You're
Right.
supposed to have this highbrow taste.
Right.
But it's funny because Chang was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm eating Domino's.
Yeah. It's not exactly. It's not being like embarrassed.
If it tastes good, it tastes good. Or it reminds you of when you were a kid or whatever.
Exactly. Those food memories and being able to either, and I do this a lot with our food. Either it's a food memory of mine
Yeah.
that like if I make it, it reminds me of this certain time in my life. Making this with my grandmother, eating this with my mom. So to have people eat something that is super nostalgic to me is awesome. But then on the other hand, to have a guest or you yourself be like, you just smell something and just boom, you know exactly the point in time, how old you were, where you were in your life. That's
tell
one of the
you
most powerful things in the world.
It is. Which dish of yours did that for me?
Neckbone. Neckbone gravy? No?
I mean,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
but the one that really hit it the first time was the razor clams.
Really?
My grandmother used to do razor clams.
Well, because obviously out of Mass, yeah, that's where you get them from.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did she do with them?
Breadcrumbs, lemon,
Yeah.
simple. Parsley.
Yeah. Wow.
But you can't find them anywhere outside of New England, really. I mean, now things have changed and then you can find food in different places.
The
but
razors
they're not
are
common.
East Coast. Well, then there's West Coast razor clams, which are totally different. They're larger.
Yeah.
And super delicious as well. But the East Coast ones are the ones that you would find in Spain or in Italy. Like, so they're the same. They're one of the best clams out there. Really, just the sweet. They have like a sweetness of like a scallop. touch of brininess, but the way
Easy to eat.
a little bit pain in the ass to clean.
Yeah.
Even if you
I brought them home before
even
and
if you
I tried to make them.
even if you purge them, you still have to cut out the belly
Yeah.
because there's no way to get that dirt out.
Yeah.
But you know what you're getting, man. It's worth it. It's really, really worth it.
So you got 2 kids, 3 kids?
Two.
2 kids, 2 young kids.
Yep.
So you guys don't get to travel too much?
No, traveling, it goes up and down. You know what I'm saying? We just took a trip to Florida with my whole family, with my girls. I've been the past 2 months. I've been completely traveling it was all my work travel was condensed into one. Funny to say that because we're really trying to we need to take time and we need to do this stuff. We need to travel. As far as traveling with family, I have a rule, and I don't know if anybody
You mean extended family?
no my kids.
Oh.
I think it should be the minimum should be 3 years old. It's brutal, and
They're not gonna appreciate it. They're not enjoying anything.
no. But even though the argument to that is even though they might not remember it, the joy of seeing a 2-year-old being excited, those are memories that I always have.
Sure.
But not sleeping and commanding, it's stressful on everybody. My wife ends up wanting to rip my head off. It's rough
So,
stuff.
People Magazine, sexiest chef or some shit? Some
Yeah,
list of-
John would just spit out my water. Yeah, it's
I had to do a little research before I came because you're the first guest I've had that I didn't know or wasn't a friend of a friend. I don't know anybody that knows you, or maybe I
right.
do, but I'm not
Right.
aware of it.
Right.
Yeah, I had to do a little research
Yeah.
because I don't know anything about you. So
Right.
I dug up this article about People Magazine. When was this?
It's just winter.
Oh, was this year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so you beat out Chang and Andres and Vitali. Are you proud of yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, dude.
I'm just
You know how
playing.
much the amount of ball busting my buddies that I grew up with were like, hey, hey, Banos, take your,
I can only imagine.
next time take, look at the guy at number. Next time, take your shirt off.
Did
Look at
they
this
do a
guy.
photo shoot and everything?
No.
Did they post a picture?
Yeah, they just posted a picture of
Okay.
from our website or something.
Okay.
But there was some dudes that had no shirt on and
Jesus.
next time make sure they get a picture.
They
of
probably
you
I didn't even see the rest of the list. They put Voltaggio on there or something.
I don't even remember
Those guys.
But it's good. Hey, we'll take it.
That's great.
Hey, it's all good publicity.
Good for you. I'm jealous. So how do you decide where you're gonna eat when you travel? It could be here. Same thing.
Yeah.
But do you use Eater? Do you use those food websites?
I use all of the above. So
Okay. Yelp. Well, Yelp isn't to find where you want to eat.
Yeah.
But Yelp is to.
Yelp, I actually will look at Yelp, and obviously all chefs hate Yelp. We hate it, for obvious reasons, but people are very vicious. But if I want to get a really good understanding of a visual, and all right, here's the menu, I'm looking at their website, here's their menu. I'll go to Yelp or TripAdvisor, and then I'll just do the food, and I'll all right, this is this scallop dish, and I'm gonna find it on Yelp because I want to see what it looks like.
Exactly. That's what we use it for.
Yeah, so I see exactly.
We use Yelp once we get to the restaurant and say, all right, what are we about
Right.
to eat?
Right.
But I don't
So-
use Yelp to choose my spots.
I choose it just to see, all right, this looks good. But then Eater, I use Eater 38. Their list.
I think it's
quite
pretty
effective.
Good. I think it's pretty good. Clearly they have allegiances
Yeah.
to certain places and whatnot.
Yeah.
But most of the recommendations I've got from Eater have been hits more
Yeah.
than misses.
Just Googling, just lists, Zagat, freaking, I do my, or stuff I already know.
I'm sure you know.
It's
along
both,
the
you know
way.
what I'm saying? Other stuff you already really know. And then wherever I get to, whether it's a town I've been to or I've been to 100 times, I'm always getting the information from my server or bartender. Always. I want give me the goods. Where should we go? And we usually never get pointed in the wrong direction.
Have you eaten at any of the so-called top 50 restaurants in the world or any of those type of places? I've eaten at a couple of them.
Oh yeah. I ate at 11 Madison Park.
Yep. New York.
Yep. I ate at Alinea.
Yep.
The French Laundry was on there. I think they were on there before.
I haven't. So is Alinea overrated, properly rated, underrated?
It's so subjective. I don't even know the whole rating thing. I don't even get it.
Right.
It just. Whatever.
Did you enjoy your experience?
Yeah,
I guess what
yeah,
I'm
of
saying.
course. I have the most respect for guys like Grant, who completely made up something. I'm always drawn to people who are completely outside of the box thinkers.
Innovative.
This is an industry where everybody just freaking copycats it all day.
Right.
Oh, tacos
This is what makes money.
Tacos are popular. Or 5 more taquerias are opening up, and taco tequila joints, and then 6. How many more blessed burger joints do we need? How many? It's like, do something that's different. Beat to your own drum. That guy beats to his own drum.
Absolutely.
So I'm completely in admiration and respect for that. Doing what is inside of you and doing what you're super passionate about, and let that come, create your own language per se. That's really what I try to do, and really just not follow. Like, we're in a totally different, but I think one thing when people come here, they're just like, I can't compare this to anything.
Right.
And that's the point. And whatever you do from that point on, we want to have a restaurant group that's got 30 restaurants, and we have to have a new American place, we have to have a taqueria, I have to have a noodle shop. That's just greed. You have to go based on what you're passionate about,
What
and
your
then
strengths are.
if I have one of my sous chefs, Kevin, he's been with me for 6 years. He's like engulfed with Spain, obsessed.
It's hard to argue with that food.
That's not, and there's not a lot to choose from in Chicago. Obsessed. So I'm like, okay, because I'm laying on the groundwork, and this is, in the very near future, you're gonna be running your own spot. You're gonna be a partner, and we need to do something that you are breathe. That this is inside. This is part of you, not just some made up thing because it's just time to do it. I gave him a whole bunch of like historic Spanish books. Like start. Obviously, you need to go to the source. You need to go to
your
Spain.
way up to El Bulli.
Right,
and
but like
Fernan-
really like
Fernan-
understand regionalities of Spain, like the traditions going back hundreds and hundreds of years. I'm giving him a groundwork to just start messing around, and he's killing it. And when we do it, it's going to be something that's uncomparable. We know that. Everything we do, there will not be a point that you can be like, well, this reminds me of this place. Just not how we do things. I think it's hard to try to do something original, but it pays off dividends in the long run, man. There's so much competition out there. If you don't do anything to separate yourself from the rest of the pack, it's really tough to make it.
Another reason why I've never tried.
It's so hard, man.
Speaking of Vitali, something that reminded me of his background, and I think maybe why you guys kind of meshed so well, is his family background in the restaurant business.
Yeah, the Salumi.
Have you ever been to Salumi?
No.
Unbelievable.
I've never been to Seattle. Dude, I want to...
Probably the best sandwich I've ever had in my life.
I believe it.
It is unbelievable. So, yeah, just when I was reading about your background with your grandparents and growing up in the kitchen, it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, I mean, no.
I understand why you guys...
That place is... I mean, I would love to go there. It's on my...
I rode a bike there, got there at 10 a.m. and waited in line. They're only open like 3 days a week for like 2 hours. They're open like 6 hours a week, and they crush it.
Yeah. I love those stories.
His grandmother still sits in the window making gnocchis.
Really?
Yeah. One day a week she does it.
That because she's famous. Yeah, she's famous for those. But there's that whole I love that story. Like, we're open 3 days a week and this and that. Like, and these are the things that like I'm trying to create. You want to have longevity in this game. You don't want to burn out in 10 years. We're open 7 days a week, rain or shine, lunch and dinner, and like, since we've opened, I've pulled back the hours of operation. We close earlier now. In the future, I'll probably close between lunch and dinner here. If I can, I'll close a day here. Because, again, it's about longevity. And somebody who I truly... Quality of life. And all your people being happy and feeling like they're in a great spot, and then that's how you continue to keep it growing. I mean, somebody I really admire that did it right, I think, is Rick Bayless. They've been closed Sunday, Monday since the beginning.
Which spot?
All of them.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Lenya Brava is, but like Frontera, Tobo, and it allowed him to do those, get into this salsa business, which you just sold for a good bajillion dollars.
Yeah, I see him at
It's
Whole
like
Foods now and everything.
to having that kind of like my dad being like that Greek mentality, open, 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 don't ever close. But then you're so engulfed in your business, you can't grow your. It's like getting away. It's working. Getting him away from that mentality a little bit. In order to spread your wings, you can't be open 24 hours a day,
Right.
because then you're always worried about things messing up there. You know,
You need time to
you need time.
explore your
you need time.
creativity and whatnot, whether it's through books or
Yeah, I have
movies or
research is
Netflix
one of
or
my
whatever.
favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Thousands of cookbooks.
So, your dad was friends with, or is friends with Emerald? Kind of influenced, or I don't know
Yep.
if they are
They
similar age.
they met. Yeah, they're pretty much the same age, almost exactly.
Massachusetts guy.
Yeah, Fall River, right?
Yep.
My dad became friends with Emerald like in the late 80s. Introduced through Paul Prudhomme.
Oh, okay.
So the story, which is really an interesting story because you wouldn't think of anybody doing this today, but my dad like just cold called Chef Prudhomme and was like, hey chef, he was in his kitchen here, and my dad had at the time started really taking an interest in New Orleans style food and flavors, and he was making a couple of things here and there and like giving it to his guests, and people were going crazy for it. So he called him and be like, hey, chef, I think I got something going on here, like something pretty special, like, can I fly out, I would like to maybe come out there. And Paul's like, come on down, like, Southern hospitality at its finest, and chef introduced him to everybody, all the main
That's
spots.
how we met Emerald, though.
Yeah, because Emerald was at Commander's Palace back then. That's what gets you to Emerald. Frank Bryson, all these guys who were like, Frank Bryson was a chef at K. Paul's then, which is Paul Prudhomme's restaurant, and built those relationships from then on out. It's a truly, can you imagine anybody today? Like with a cold call, be like,
They don't have time for that.
Get the fuck out of here. Leave me alone.
Right, exactly.
leave me alone.
So I used to work at this pizza place back at home, and the guy who was he's a chef in the Boston area, and he used to help out at the pizza joint because his friend owned the place.
Yeah.
So he came up with Emerald, and he used to tell Emerald stories and whatnot. So he says that Emerald stole his whole shtick, and that was his thing.
Which one? Which like
Boom, or
bam,
whatever,
bam,
bam,
bam.
or whatever. Yeah. He says I used to say poof or pow, and he stole it from me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he used to have this local access TV show called Seduction on a Plate with Georgie D.
Okay.
That was the guy that I knew, Georgie
Okay.
D. And
All
Georgie D, his whole claim was like, Emerald
Emerald,
stole what I
hey,
was gonna do.
If it worked, it worked,
Oh,
right?
it's hilarious. Georgie D was a character.
Who's your favorite? What are your favorite spots in Boston?
So I love what like Ken Oranger
Yep.
and Jamie Bissonette are doing.
Good guys.
Like Toro.
Yep.
Then over in the North End, you got Brico. It's the North End is the
Yeah,
Little
of
Italy.
course in the North
Okay.
End. Yeah.
I don't know how you know
yeah,
Boston.
Oh no, yeah. North End's great.
Yeah, Uni.
Yep.
Ken Orange's spot.
One of the best little Italies in the country.
Yeah, it is.
If not the best, actually.
Very solid stuff over
Yeah.
there. And then you got a couple old school pizzeria joints.
I think Barbara Lynch might be. She's
Yes, that's another one.
she's tremendous.
Absolutely.
She's tremendous. Really, Boston's really past 10 years.
Yeah.
Exploded with restaurants and food. It's exciting.
You got a spot there that you like to go?
I haven't
a while.
I haven't been there in
Oh, you went to
years.
Johnson and Wales in Rhode Island.
Yes, sir. Yep, I went back for the
That
first.
was-
I went for the first time in 10 years.
You went this
Went
summer.
back. I was there in January.
Okay.
I got invited to go back. They called a DVC chef, they're Distinguished Visiting Chef.
Nice.
Well, it's like they do a couple a year, and like the wall, like all these like legendary chefs the past like 40 years they've had do these.
Who are some of the big names that we would know? I mean, I know a ton of people went there.
I mean,
Can you think of any
Well,
of them?
they don't have to have gone there.
Oh, okay.
To Barbara Lynch was there.
Yeah.
She was one of them. I mean, like Paul Bocuse and
Yeah.
like legends going back. Emerald, obviously. Like really, really, really great list to be a part of. So I had not been back in a decade to Providence. That was pretty cool.
It's time for the Keeping It a Hundo segment of the show. We give you basically some questions. The point of my show is you got to keep it a hundo. You got to keep it real with me.
Keep it real.
So your motto at Purple Pig is cheese, swine, and wine. You got the hat on right now.
Yes, sir.
You got to give up one of them for life. You can have one of those once a year, and you can have one of them on the regular. Cheese, swine, or wine.
Give up one of them for life.
Never have it again. One of them you can have once a year, and one of them you can keep on the regular.
Well,
For your own consumption.
yes. So, cheese is non-negotiable. I can't get rid of that at all. So that's with me all the time. That's
Okay.
okay. I'll give up pork.
Really?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
There's substitutes.
Yeah, there's plenty of substitutes. Cheese, no. And we'll do wine once a
Wine
year.
once a year. All right.
I'm a cheese all. I mean, dude, it's
Yeah, I eat a lot of
dude.
cheese.
I literally just when I came back here, one of my guys was breaking down a wheel of parm. I'm just like, dude, get this shit away from me, man. Like I have like, I just
Chunks of it.
yeah.
What's your favorite dish at the Purple Pig?
Favorite dish is
The pork neck gravy you mentioned earlier.
that's a good one. It's
Solid.
a great one, and again, that's nostalgic because of my grandmother.
Yep.
But my favorite dish, because it has stood the test of time,
Yep.
and it made us, what big reason that made us as popular as we are, is our fried pig's ears with the pickled cherry peppers,
Yep.
fried kale, and fried egg. That, because especially back then it was such a risky dish.
Right.
You'd have pig's ears, and at the time when I'd done research, people were doing dishes with pig's ears more as like a garnish.
Right.
I'm like, we're gonna do this shit. It's gotta be front and center. Pig's ears are the star. Let's do it. And that was the one that my other partners were so like dude, like so like scared of.
I live in Miami as well as Chicago.
Yeah.
And there's two places in Miami that have really good pig's ears.
Michael's
Yep,
genuine. Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Michael Schwartz is
Yeah,
doing good
he's
stuff
a
down
great
there.
great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. But that's the one. That's the one because it's still a top 3 seller as well. So that's the one.
My go-to here, because I can eat it so often, is the calamari salad. It's just so refreshing
Yeah.
and light. Like I can grab it for lunch real quick.
That's one out of like 10 dishes that I cannot take off. Otherwise, they would freak out.
Greece or Italy?
All right. Just
Half Greek, half Italian.
I
You been to both?
been to both. You can't choose one, but if I have to, because we're being real, I'm gonna have to choose Italy.
All right. I mean, I would, but it's close.
Well, it's just
It's close.
It's
so similar
And for
anyway.
they are, but it's just more of a connection food. That's my main like inspiration to really knowing what kind of food I wanted to go into cooking was Vitale. Like so, I was cooking in only Italian kitchens, living in Italy, being way more fascinated with the Italian language.
Where'd you live over there?
I was in two small towns outside of Rome, Guarcino, and then Frosinone is a bigger town, but that's like not Americanized at all.
Yeah.
And then I was in Florence.
Okay.
And then most of my friends growing up, in my neighborhood, they were all Italians.
Yeah.
So either Italian or Irish.
Yeah.
So like, it just was
More
what it
influence.
is.
Got it. Raki, Uzo, Metaxa, or Cipito?
I'm gonna go with the Sipuro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I was over there for a few weeks with my Greek friends and his
Yeah.
family, and I mean, we were drinking that stuff, all of those every day, and I
Yeah.
kind of had to choose which one was my go-to.
Yeah, which one was it?
I'm a brown liquor guy, so I'm a little more Metaxa, although I did consume more Cipito over there.
Yeah, I love it.
I didn't know what it was. till I
Metaxa's
went. I knew
fan-
about Rocky.
Yeah,
and all that.
Metaxa is fantastic, and we have here some bottles that you can't eat. Like they're so like the high-end Metaxas
Yeah.
that you can't even get allocated here. You should try it later, dude. It's just like butter.
I think my girlfriend's coming to meet me here for dinner
Good,
tonight,
good.
so maybe we'll give it a try.
Good, no, for sure, like unbelievable.
You're across the street from Michael Jordan's Steakhouse. Has MJ
Yes.
ever eaten here?
No,
You've never seen him in here?
no, I don't. I don't.
I can't see him coming in
No,
here.
you can't go. This is not the
Too crowded.
too wide open. He would be mobbed. We do get a lot of celebrities in here, and positive way, this is a great place for even though it's so out in the open. nobody bothers anybody, which is great. I don't want them to have to be bothered,
course
you know.
not.
And I don't barely even bother them. I say hello, sorry, you know. And if a lot of times we have a lot of return guests.
Who were some of your favorites that came in, or just people that
Recently?
you admired or whatnot?
This year, because it's been like there's just so many. We get a lot of the cast from Chicago PD, like a lot of cast from Chicago Fire. Eric LaSalle from ER and Coming to America.
Yep.
He comes in all
Randy
the time.
Watson, Soul Glow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he comes in all the time and like.
Did he leave the mark?
I wish, right? 2 days ago, Joe Madden just came in from the Cubs.
Yeah. You know he's Italian? They changed his name.
Really?
His name was like Medini or something.
Really?
Yeah, one of those.
And he said his wife was Greek too.
Really?
Which was, and I wasn't here that day, but that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like a lot of sports guys like Roenick, Jeremy Roenick's a good personal friend of mine now because he's been coming in forever. Mila Kunis, like really, like just a random Kelsey Grammer when they were doing their show here. And he was the mayor of the
the boss or something. Boss something.
Yeah. It's good. I think next place we have if it's more of if there's a private area, I'll have to get more for sure.
What's your favorite Biggie Smalls song? Speaking of Piggy Smalls.
My favorite, that would have to be. That's easy, man. What's a Juicy?
Yeah. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Yeah.
Top 5 rappers of all time.
Ooh, man. Top 5.
You're close to 35.
I'm 33. Yeah.
33.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it has to be like in order. Top
Nah.
5?
Any order. Dead or alive.
Okay. Tupac, Biggie, Eminem, T.I., and I think for total nostalgic reasons, I gotta throw Diddy in there, man. Just because when he was popular, but I mean, you know, it's just more of like a '90s thing.
Yeah.
Like we used to love, like
Just his whole influence with Bad Boy
yeah.
and the whole thing.
That I have to go. We'll have to go there.
You threw in T.I. and Diddy have not appeared on anybody's list, but the rest of them have appeared on a few lists. Biggie and Tupac are on everybody's
Yeah.
list. Favorite athletes when you were a kid?
Number 1, Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Walter Payton.
Went to college with his son.
Really? Oh, really?
Yeah. Good kid. Yeah.
Yeah, Miami.
He's yeah, exactly. I went to the U.
Yeah.
He's a radio guy in
Yeah.
Chicago now. Yeah.
He's nice, really nice. Joe Montana. He used to be a big Montana fan, and then local. I mean, Mark Grace is my favorite baseball player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm looking for the local poll
Local,
like that. Yeah.
Mark Grace is my favorite baseball player of all time. And Peyton, I get more drawn. So Jordan is like the easy answer.
Yeah, everybody in Chicago. It's Jordan and then everybody else.
But like, and it isn't even about basketball anymore because I don't even follow that much anymore. Even though NBA is actually, I think it's at a whole other
It's at
level
a
of
great,
excitement.
Great place right now.
Like they have stars everywhere.
They're probably going to take over the NFL.
For sure.
Because of the whole concussion
Right now?
thing and all that.
Absolutely. That is without a doubt. They have
heading in that direction.
They have enough star power.
Exactly.
But Jordan, it's not even about basketball. It's about he has such an influence on me.
His competitive spirit.
He's got, dude, there's nobody that could translate to any industry. That killer instinct with life, like I think, is one of the most motivating and fascinating things I've ever seen. And I think it's so inspiring that's why it's always number one. I watch old tapes, not like videos of him playing. It's like interviews.
Right.
One of the most magical human beings that exists as far as being inspired in any job that you do.
So I've never met the guy. I have friends that have played for his teams that he owns. They're just like, man, it's disappointing once you really meet him because he's just not like he's such a god and like you know what I mean. And once you meet him, they're kind of like, hey, he's a regular guy.
Yeah,
you know,
he's a normal guy. You know, it's all, which I guess I get. You know, he's not gonna put on a show for him,
right.
But it's really just about how he was with basketball. That how you can translate that to like everything you do.
Yeah.
You know, so
Favorite food city outside of Chicago in the U.S.
Outside of Chicago, still New York.
Yeah.
New York City.
So many options.
Yeah.
And favorite food city outside the U.S.
Well, I haven't really. You see, unfortunately, Europe, I still have so many places I got to go.
That's limited.
A little bit limited. I mean, Italy and Greece. It's the only place I've been to in Europe. But,
Okay.
That will change based on my time. But I'm gonna go with Rome.
Yeah.
Rome, or even my last really good meals on my honeymoon, I was the Amalfi Coast. Man, was just
My favorite place in the world. Where did you go? Positano?
Yeah, but we found some went to some really, really, really great places.
Could have been the same spots. I've been a few times to Positano, and it's my favorite place.
Magical
I
place.
have so many stories about it. I don't even want to get started. Favorite pizza place in Chicago?
For like a simple, old school, thin crust pizza,
Yeah.
which are Armand's, and it's a chain now. But Armand's, back in the day, used to be, as I mentioned, Elmwood Park, which was where Johnny's was, but it's in that neighborhood. One spot, okay? Armand's, ARMANDD.
Okay.
They, in the past 10 years, they have branched off and opened up.
Where can I get
ones.
it around here?
I don't think there's any downtown.
They're in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
There might be one downtown. I don't
Okay.
even know. My favorite pizzas is they do just basic thin crust with cheese and spicy giardiniera in the. Dude, it's my favorite pizza.
Yep, I've had that before. Not there, but
It's my favorite one.
I like it. Favorite sushi spot?
Don't have one.
No.
Honestly, I mean,
None of them stand out to you.
I haven't, and this it comes with the job.
You don't eat out
I
a lot.
love sushi. I haven't eaten at a sushi joint in Chicago in over 10 years, so I can't even answer that question.
What?
Yeah, there's plenty to choose from.
That's crazy.
It doesn't help either that my wife doesn't like sushi, but
Okay.
I love it.
But an answer like that is very interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
I have more experience with New York, Blue Ribbon Sushi.
yep. They actually opened one in Miami. I've been to the one in Miami,
Yeah.
and I've been to the one in New York.
Great, they do a great job.
Yeah,
and of course
very good.
you can find great sushi in New York everywhere. It's actually it's insanity. Yeah.
I went to what's his name? That it's like the most expensive restaurant in the country. I didn't go to that spot. I went to his other spot in New York. You know that
Time Warner
sushi
building?
guy? It's at Columbus Circle.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Masa.
Masa. Not Masa. He has a new spot called Tetsu.
It's like a meat place.
Yeah, it's Robata and that
Yeah.
stuff.
How was it?
Yakitori. It's really good.
Yeah.
Overpriced.
I heard they got little mixed reviews,
Yeah,
right?
it was good. I liked it. But
Masa's like $800 a person,
yeah,
right?
it's insane.
Come on.
It can't be. I mean, how can it be worth that? I
No.
don't know.
What's going on in New York right now, as far as the cost of going out to eat a decent meal? I don't even know what to say anymore. I was just there because it was for work, and we went to Mario Carbone and Teresa's
Yeah.
place, the grill.
Yeah. Oh, that's a new spot in one of the hotels, right?
Yeah, is it connected to the hotel? I don't.
I heard about
Yeah.
it. It's on Ugly Delicious.
Yeah,
They have an episode.
it was almost like a $700 lunch.
Yeah. Did you have the uni pasta? That's one of my favorite dishes in the
Not
world.
there, no.
Okay. I saw it on the Ugly Delicious.
Yeah, it was great experience, but oh my god,
You just wouldn't expect to pay
oh
that.
my god, you gotta be kidding me, man. That's a lot. For some reason, they had on their list of classic cocktails. I believe I got a Gibson Martini,
Yeah.
best martini I've probably had in the past few. As simple as a drink as that is, over $20 a martini.
Yeah.
But dude, even if something is that expensive, the room was great. Our server was a guy from Brooklyn, but he was still had the whole tuxedo thing out. But he was just you can relate to him. It was just a good lunch. It was a good experience.
So one of my favorite places, maybe my favorite place in New York, is one of his other spots, Zizi's Clam Bar.
I've never been there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've probably been 3 or 4 times. It's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
But great raw seafood.
Did you go to Carbone?
The regular one?
Yeah.
Yep. Good, solid.
Yeah, never. I went to Santina, that Sicilian inspired place he has.
Santina?
Yeah,
I don't know that one.
it's in the meatpacking district.
Okay.
I used to work with him with Mario when he was at Del Posto. I was starting out there.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, we were there at the same time when he was like a line cook, but being prepped for sous chef, and I was just a punk ass kid, fucking peeling potatoes.
That's great.
But I always remember him specifically because he was always he was always a really nice guy, you know.
Yeah.
Even back then, and then even then, which was 13 years ago, I knew he was. I'm like, that guy's gonna be good.
Yeah.
He just knew. He knew he was gonna do something.
Yeah.
He had something different, you know.
Have you ever been arrested?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Mm-hmm. We have something in common. Anything good?
Actually, it's in your neck. Well, kind of your neck of the woods. I was in
college?
Providence. Yeah. A fight. Somebody was talking to my sister the wrong way, and I punched him, slapped him around a few times, and I got through. But I remember I was laughing because I'm like the Providence cops are on like another level of just different. You know?
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm like, you mother. I'm like, dude, if I was at home right now, they would have like, hey, give me a here, good, nice punch, kid,
Right,
go home.
right.
You guys are putting me in jail overnight over a fight. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
But I think it's, and I learned this when I was in college because I was getting in trouble in college. They look at college kids a little different because they look at us like, oh, you're the privileged. Because these guys didn't go to Johnson and Wales and University of Miami, you know. They're cops.
They were, yeah.
You know.
I was like, I'm in the back seat of a car right now. I'm like, this is a joke. But that and one more time too. But nothing crazy.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
All right. You're a junior, Jimmy Banos Jr.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite junior of all time? A lot of juniors out there.
There are. Ooh, man. I think and I'll probably even think of some more.
Yeah.
But right off I think the most impressive junior there is Cal Ripken Jr.
That's the first one I thought of when I wrote this.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't have maybe said that, but that's the first one that came to mind when I wrote that question.
Best. I mean, you get Ken Griffey Jr. obviously, and like Ken Norton Jr. Football, you know,
Sammy Davis
Jr. But freaking Cal Ripken.
I like
that's. That record will never be broken.
Nah, that's not happening. Not in this day and age.
No way.
If you were invited to the White House to cook for Trump, would you go?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would go.
Okay.
I don't care who's in office, whether you agree with somebody or not. It's an honor to do it. You do it.
You still respect the office and whatnot.
That's it. Simple as that. Yeah. And if anybody disagrees with me, they can go kiss off. It's honestly, it's people. If you didn't like Obama, what big deal? It's an honor to be asked to cook in the White House. Period.
So what would you be doing if you weren't a chef? You've been doing this since you were 5 years old.
Yeah. I have a knack for getting people to do more than they think they can do, and pushing people to just like really motivating and inspiring. At one point, I there was a small point in my, like, I was young in high school where I was like, I think maybe I'm not going to cook. Maybe I'll try to get in like coaching, like basketball or something like that. And like, I think that would have been really a lot of fun. Maybe some type of FBI or like CIA or some shit, man. That would be like, I really respect that job and people who put their lives on the line to like protect our country.
People don't even know.
People don't even know.
Yeah.
They put everything on the line every day for us. I think it's really such an admirable thing, and I think that'd be a pretty good gig, hard gig.
So we mentioned Batali and we mentioned Emeril Lagasse.
Yes.
Who you got in a steel cage match? Lagasse versus Batali.
Batali's got the weight on him.
Yeah.
But
I feel like Lagasse's got the endurance.
I'm gonna go with Emeril, man. I think Emeril, he's got a little more fire to him. He's got these Fall River boy. He's got the toughness. He's got, I think
Mario's a Pacific Northwest guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Emeril on that one.
Good call. Any chefs that you haven't met that you would like to meet? Anybody come to mind? Anybody that inspires you or whatnot?
I have a new infatuation with some old school heroes, legends that like I've been like really studying and reading about, like French, Freddie Girardet. Like that guy's 68 years old or 65, and he's still changing the freaking game. I'll probably never meet him because he's in France, but like I have like 5 of his books and I like read them like it's like a Bible, you know, like Michel Girard or all these guys that are you know, that it's not going to be easy to ever meet them.
Yeah.
Are really just pioneers. And I think an obvious answer would be like Ferran Adria.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have said that like a year or two ago, but as I've mentioned before that I'm like an addict when it comes to research. I have books, beyond books, beyond books, beyond books. And I'm in the process right now of literally reading every single thing that this man has ever written. He's one of the most, if not the most amazing minds that's ever graced the culinary
Couldn't agree with you more.
world. And that to have enough balls back then to think that far outside of the box and do what again, created his own language. There isn't very many things you read and you're just like, how the hell did he think of like it's that constant
Like the olive, the spherical
Yeah.
olive, like it's so basic.
well
Genius.
I've seen him in interviews. It's like it's not about teaming, you know, like science. He's like, and it was a quote. He's like, we asked the experts. They were curious about something. They asked the experts in those fields of like using those, you know, agar, for example. Like,
yeah.
you're so scientific. Like, it's like, but they've been using that in Japan for fucking forever.
Yeah.
We just found how to use it. So it's those types of. I just, when you have such a like fascinating mind, I'm so drawn to that stuff. You know.
What exactly is agar? It's like something you add to food, like to make it taste good.
Yeah, it's a thickener, but it's a derivative from like seaweed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's a stabilizer, or they call it like a hydrocolloid. So these are things that you're gonna use to thicken. That isn't, you know, old school methods would be flour or flour butter, you know,
Right,
stuff, cornstarch. This is just another way of thickening something.
I hear chefs say it, but I don't really know what it is.
It's a whole other world,
Okay.
but it's fun.
Place you would love to eat, like a bucket list place that you have never eaten at, that you would love to eat at.
I'm gonna go with, let's just say this. Let's just say the whole freaking country of Spain. I'm dying. Like, there's so much cool stuff that going on there, and it's such on my. Adds a buck. The Barcelona, Madrid. That's like.
So
there.
I've done Barcelona and Madrid. Got to get up to San Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff I've seen.
That'd be
and read
number
about
one.
that.
I mean, just innovation on a whole. Like, just they put thinking outside the box on a whole other level. I actually look at, if I'm going to compare, never going to Spain, but I look at Chicago. If you're going to like compare, because Chicago right now, you know, best culinary destination in the country, all these, you know, great accolades for our city. I look at Chicago like what would be like San Sebastian and like Spain. I mean, even though they're on a whole other different planet, like just even they've been doing it for a long time, but
Yeah.
I think people in our clientele in Chicago is way more open to thinking outside the box than anywhere else in the country. You have a lot more creative freedom in Chicago. Like Alinea, I don't think New Yorkers. I don't like. Look at Wiley Dufresne and WD-50.
Right.
The guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius. It didn't sustain. Obviously, there's other reasons: rent and the cost of everything.
I think he's a little beyond. Like his thinking is almost too far.
But I think if he was in Chicago, I think he'd still be open.
Think so?
Chicago is, and I'll go back to New York. Like, there's 100 phenomenal Italian restaurants. There's 50. There's great focused Spanish restaurants. There's great French. Chicago's extremely cultured as well. There's everything to choose from.
Sure.
But like our most popular places are what we would consider like New American.
Yeah.
Like just like a mixture of all these different things, and
You don't even know what to call it.
yeah, you know.
I've been to Aviary and Royster. I've never been to Alinea, but just the experience itself at Aviary is just
It's
what the hell is going on
just
right
different.
now?
And, and for some reason, this city takes to, which is great. And what's better than being a chef and being able to really express yourself the best you can creatively. But I also do think that there should be more, like, in which is what the direction we want to go into, is being more cuisine focused. Like the Purple Pig is general. Like our next spot, we want to do Spain. Then I want to do something Italian, and then I'm going to be doing something. I want to do something Greek. You know what I'm saying? To really be that specific cuisine focus with our own twist.
Last question I ask everybody: what's your death row meal?
Woo. Okay. Death row meal would be a pot of neck bones, meatballs, Sunday freaking gravy, and big freaking bowl of pasta. And how we do it with our family, we take like here it's together, but we eat it separate. So you have all the pile of meat, or if we do brajol, whatever, and then
Do we eat brajol?
Yeah, I have it here on the menu now.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I might have it tonight.
Yeah, it's
I haven't had it since my grandmother passed away because nobody makes it.
We might, because I was off yesterday. I hope. No, we're not out of it. We have it tonight. Good, because it's really popular. And I specifically put on the menu just grandma's brajol. It's a talking
how
point.
Rare it is.
It's
I was
very
in
rare.
Italy, and they didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah, it's
Because everything's regional, just like
the only place you're going to see brajol in Italy is Sicily or like Naples.
Right.
That's it.
And I was in Firenze, Florence area, and they thought I was nuts. What are you talking
No.
about? They were like involtini. They thought I was talking about like wrapped up
right.
eggplant.
Just close.
They don't know.
Well, that's the fascinating thing about Italy, man. I mean, it's only been in a country since 1861. So it's a country that's half the size of Texas, but it has 22 regions.
Right.
And each region, again, before they became a country, each region essentially was its own country.
Yeah.
So they are completely in their ways and in their cult. It's like you go to Milan, this is what they eat. You go up to, you go in Florence and Tuscany, like they don't know what's going on.
They're eating steaks up in Tuscany and
Right, or up
Florence.
north is more, way up north, but is more beef focused and
They couldn't afford that down south.
corn and polenta.
Yeah.
It's just based on what I think it's quite fascinating, actually. Really fascinating.
So what are you having to drink with it?
The right answer would be wine, but if we're talking, I would have the dirtiest of dirty kettle martinis on the rocks with like extra blue cheese, olives, and pickled onions, and that's my go-to.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing this.
Thank
like
you.
I said, I was excited to have a chef on.
I appreciate it. I'm happy to be the first, or if not, one of the first chefs. Especially found up at the Riddick Boat, man. That's like
Exactly.
legend. So
Yeah.
I'm part of a great company. So thank you.
Thanks for listening to episode 15 with Jimmy Banos Jr. I know you're hungry after hearing that. Right when we finished recording, me and my girlfriend Marissa had dinner at the Purple Pig, and it definitely didn't disappoint. I got to try Jimmy's new dish, Grandma's Brajol. I hadn't had Brajol in like 6 years since my grandma passed away, and it definitely hit the spot. Also had some razor clams and sipped on this special bottle of Metaxa. His sommelier came out, gave me the whole spiel about how they bought it online at some auction. They don't have this anywhere in the U.S. Some real exclusive Greek shit my primos Yanni, the handyman, and Porno Pete would really appreciate. So thank you, Jimmy Banos, for everything. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Can't wait to check out Piggy Smalls when it opens in June. Next week, we have a special Mother's Day podcast coming up. I'll be in LA for my girlfriend's game. Playing LA, we're going to beat that ass again. And speaking of beating that ass, the Celtics took care of the Sixers pretty easy. And I continue to tell people, don't sleep on the Celtics. The LeBrons have their hands full with the Celtics. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to guarantee victory, but I'm guaranteeing that this guy's in trouble. Can't wait to see what Brad Stevens has planned to attack the LeBrons. Before we go, I'd like to thank a few people. Those of you who continue to support Keeping It a Hundo, thank you for sharing on social media. My girlfriend Marissa and her friend Leah Fire, Slick Rick in Brickell, Mike in Americo Shuko, Mark Milley, Anthony G from the Naughty North Shore, and a special thanks to my boy Raja for having me on his podcast last week, Off the Bench with Cannell and Bell. I got to meet Danny Cannell and Debo. Great guys, and it was a pleasure doing the show. So good looking out, everybody. I really do appreciate you. Have a great week, and make sure you keep it a hundo.
Remember rapping Duke, the hard, you never thought that hip-hop would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight cause I rhyme tight. Time to get paid, blow up like the world's trade. Born sinner, the opposite of a winner. Remember when I used to eat sardines for dinner? Peace to Ron G, Brucey B, Kid Capri, Funk Master Flex, Love Bug, Star Ski. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call a crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. And if you don't know